gorgeous every day.
Wonderful.
Okay, now we can let everyone in. Everyone be ready.
Smiles, action.
Hello, everyone. We're going to allow a few minutes to let people continue to file in, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you all so much for joining us today. If I'm just signing you in, we're just going to give a few minutes to allow everyone to sign on. This is very exciting. We have a great number of attendees today. If you're just joining us, we're just going to allow a few minutes. Just to note, we will be recording this session. We love to see your faces. If you feel uncomfortable with that, please feel free to turn off your camera. But I do love seeing some familiar faces here, so welcome everyone. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, if everyone's just joining in, if you want to pop in the chat where you are signing in from, we'd love to know. Lisbon, Greece, Frankfurt, San Diego, love to see it. Okay, Wisconsin. All right. Okay, well, I think we can go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. My name is TJ Chernick. My pronouns are he, him, and I am the Director of Partner Engagement for the IGLTA Foundation. I first just want to thank you all so much for being here. We are very passionate about why we are all here. Because at IGLTA, we believe in the power of travel to transform lives and to foster empathy and connect people across the globe, as you can see from the chat here, which is very exciting. You know, everyone here is a member of IGLTA, so I don't have to explain that to you, but this is really the work of, the work of the foundation is we help execute the mission of IGLTA through three primary pillars of leadership, research, and education. And I can't belabor that this piece is the leadership piece. The Gender Diverse Travel Advisory Group, or GTAG as it is known, is really one of the pinnacle moments of our leadership initiatives. And we're really excited to share some very important information with you. Our mission is really to enable authentic travel and exploration around the world. And the GTAG group is really where the rubber meets the road. So with that, Sonali, I would love for you to kick on I love seeing how many people keep signing in. You can go ahead and start the presentation. So let a few people in. Wonderful. All right, well, welcome to Traveling Beyond Two Sexes. We're really excited to have you today. Sonali, kick to the next slide. I've already introduced myself, so no worries about that. But again, I'm the Partnership Engagement Director, so my job is to create sustainable engagement with incredible partners who make very programs like the GTAG initiatives come to life. We cannot do the work that we do globally without the help of our partners, donors, and members like yourself. So thank you all for being here. It's wildly important. Next slide. I've mentioned, about the mission of IGLTA and IGLTA Foundation, but we exist to enable authentic travel that enriches lives and connects the LGBT community and the industry, and that includes all facets of the LGBTQ+ community, including the gender diverse aspect, which is why we're here today. Next slide. Again, our three pillars are leadership, research, and education. I encourage you all to visit the IGLTA Foundation website to see the work that we do. We're very passionate about research. If you're an industry leader, Our research is meant to help you make strategic decisions in the industry to create sustainable impact for the LGBTQ plus community globally. Next slide. I am just one person of many. I couldn't do it without the incredible support of the foundation team and the broader IGLTA team. But Amin Gabouche, who's not able to join us, our program manager, Sonali Khan, our foundation coordinator, who is running this whole thing in the background. You've been doing great, Sonali. Thank you so much. And Meg, the newest addition to the foundation team. Shout out, Meg, you've put together this presentation today, and we are so grateful. So enough about us. I am very excited to introduce our incredible fearless leader, John Tanzella, to get this conversation kicked off and going. John?
Thank you, TJ. Thank you for your leadership with this. You're doing an amazing job with the foundation and the programmatic work, and this is one of the most important parts of the IGLTA Foundation is the conversation we're having today. So, my name is John Tanzella. My pronouns are he and him. I just want to thank you all for joining us today because this is a very important conversation we're having in honor of Transgender Day of Visibility, which is in just a couple days. So every year on March 31st, we dedicate this day to celebrate the lives and the contributions of trans people while also drawing attention to the discrimination they face. It's great to see so many of you here from all over the world, both showing your commitment to making global travel more inclusive for our trans and gender diverse travelers, but also to learn about more about this segment of our LGBTQ plus community. As TJ mentioned, at the IGLTA and our foundation, we strongly believe that travel should be at the very basic level, welcoming and accessible for everyone, regardless of gender identity or expression. So to that end, we did establish the Gender Diverse Travel Advisory Group, or GTAG, as TJ called it, to provide us guidance and advocate for the community of travelers. The work GTAG is doing is not only necessary, but it is also transformative, helping to shape a more inclusive and equitable travel industry. So we all know that the global landscape for trans and gender diverse rights is complex and in many cases extremely challenging, especially of late. Today's webinar is an opportunity to engage directly with the experts, learn from their experiences, and explore how all of us can be better advocates and better allies. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce my dear friend, fellow Atlantan, the chair of GTAG, Gabrielle Claiborne, who is the founder of Transformational Journeys Worldwide, who's going to take us through this conversation. So Gabrielle, over to you.
Thank you, John, for being with us today and for providing those opening remarks. And to TJ, Amin, Sonali, and Meg, thank you for your support as well. Your continued investment in GTAG's work. You know, we are in our third year of existence. We're pinching ourselves, just reminding us of this every day. And we could not have and cannot continue to do this work without your generous, intentional, and strategic support. So on behalf of GTAG, we thank you. As you heard in that introduction, my name is Gabrielle Claiborne. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the chair of IGLTA's Foundation's Gender Diverse Travel Advisory Group. And I am excited to be joined by my GTAG colleagues today, whom you will have a chance to meet shortly. But first, I wanted to spend just a few minutes establishing some context for why today's conversation is relevant with, as John mentioned, International Transgender Day of Visibility just a few days away. As many of you may know, TDOV is a day that we, community members and allies alike, celebrate the visibility and resilience of trans and gender diverse people across the globe. Unfortunately, with increased visibility, oftentimes comes pushback. And this has certainly been the case with the trans and gender diverse community in the tourism space. As more and more TGD travelers are exploring the wonders of this beautiful world that we all live in, the barriers to safe and enjoyable travel have been wrought with disdain and contempt. As if traveling as trans wasn't difficult enough in alone of itself, we are now seeing growing evidence of global governing bodies either refusing to acknowledge the diversity of gender and sex characteristics in their archaic laws, policies, and subsequent enforcement thereof, or rolling back laws and policies that protect my community and allow us to live and travel authentically without fear and trepidation. Case in point, a few months ago, two Filipino trans women were denied entry into Hong Kong after being grilled by immigration officers for 12 hours in a male-only area before being repatriated back to the Philippines. Recently, the president of Namibia, if you can go to the next slide, Sonali, please. Namibia signed the unconstitutional bill that denies trans people the right to family. And because of these recent developments in the US, Germany is issuing a travel advisory for its trans and non-binary citizens who are traveling to the US. And just last week, Finland, Denmark, UK, and I think there was one other country, are also, France, is also issuing similar bans or cautions. Russia has banned trans people from driving, which makes it difficult to commute to and from work, let alone travel across the country. Because of these and many other travel barriers, travel enthusiasts Archer and Lyric Ferguson have created an LGBTQ+ travel index that specifically identifies the best and worst destinations for trans and gender diverse travelers. And this proves that barriers to travel are not siloed occurrences. What happens in one part of the world impacts another part of the world. And we're currently seeing this play out in the US, as John briefly mentioned. As I'm sure you all know, over the last couple of months, the US administration has issued an unprecedented number of mandates, making it virtually impossible for my community to move about in their travels authentically and safely. Gender diverse travelers are putting themselves at risk by outing themselves when trying to secure legal documents. For those who have aligned legal documents, they're having them confiscated at immigration checkpoints. And I can go on and on, as you can see here on this slide. Because of these realities, this TDUB is taking on a whole new meaning for members of my community. While visibility has been our viability in recent times, because of these attacks on TGD people, our visibility is now putting ourselves in the crosshairs of certain factions that are attempting to eradicate us. And this is one of the reasons why IGLTA Foundation, and GTAG exist, for the purpose of advocating for equitable, safe, and enjoyable travel experiences for the full width, breadth, and depth of the 2ST LGBTQIA+ community. And we're committed to helping you be a part of the solution as well. So we're going to take a step in setting you up for success today. So please join me in welcoming GTAG member and friend, Dr. Bella, who will walk us through an abbreviated trans travel case study. Dr. Bella, welcome.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, for your kind introduction. It is my honor to be here with IGLTA today and with everyone as well. My name is Bella. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm based in Hong Kong. I'm a tourism development scholar working as a senior lecturer at Hong Kong Metropolitan University as my full-time job, specializing in LGBTQ+ tourism and trans and gender diverse travel experiences. And yes, I'm volunteering for IGLTA Foundation as an implementation subcommittee chair of the GTAG group as well. So today I will spend some time to introduce you to trans and gender diverse travel cases based on my research that has been published in the Tourism Journal. There will be some terms that may be familiar or unfamiliar to you, but please don't worry. Please feel free to take some note and ask your question during the Q&A towards the end of the webinar. Or else we can also communicate further via IGLTA GTAG group to have a separate follow-up discussion later on as well. So first and foremost, I would like to give an opening statement to make sure that we are all in this together. Regardless of who you are, straight, gay, lesbian, trans, sexual, non-binary, We all have our own sexuality and gender. So the differences between us are only the spectrum of how the sexual and gender diversity can be. One of the popular visuals that is easy to understand is how we dissect sexuality and gender into sexual orientation or attraction, which comes from our heart. Gender identity, which comes from our brain. Gender expression, which comes from our presentation of ourselves through the clothing or appearance, and sex, which comes from our sexual organ. Following a rigid gender binary system, since the rise of European colonialism, we divide people whose sexuality and gender are not linear or the same with the sex assigned at birth or the traditional gender norms as others, or we call ourselves as LGBTQ+. In fact, gender non-binary and fluidity exist in many cultures long ago. For example, hijra in Pakistan and certain parts of India is also among the longest lasting alternative genders dating back to the 16th century. Two-spirit or Bradache in many Native American tribes, Fafine in Samoa, Bakla in Philippines, Katoy in Thailand, Kalalai, Kalabai, and Bisu in Indonesia, Muhe in Mexico, and many more. As today, we are focusing on trans and gender diverse travelers, I would like to highlight some of the elements as shown on the slides. First, gender identity or GI, which include trans women, trans men, non-binary, and of course, men and women. Second, gender expression, which include feminine, masculine, and androgynous. And third, sex characteristics, which include endosex people, referring to those who have consistent identities across their mind and body, mostly involving people who have done, trans people who have done operations, and non-endosex people whose bodies may not align with their outlook and presentation, such as intersex people or pre-op and non-op trans people, which we all have different experiences. To really understand the experiences of trans and gender diverse people, first of all, we need to really trace back to the socio-cultural settings that see us as not real or not normal. Viewing sexuality and gender as social constructs that may interact with biases, assumptions, or norms in the society differently. However, labeling people strictly into specific box, either straight, L, G, B, T, or Q, etc., is also problematic because everyone has multiple identities, or at times our identities are fluid and evolving as well. Even within our community, we may have totally different experiences when traveling. For example, non-op and post-op trans people have totally different experiences when travel, or non-binary people who may be perceived by others as either more masculine or feminine and expected to perform different roles in the hospitality settings as well. So now I will go through some cases experienced by our trans and gender diverse folks. So the first scenario that I want to introduce to you, some trans travelers, especially trans women, reported that they were discriminated or rejected from certain hotels, shopping malls, or bars because they were seen as criminals, beggars, or thieves if they look not financially empowered. Or if they look financially empowered, sometimes we might be understood as sex workers. The only way to cope with this situation is to pass as cisgender women. But it could be very difficult for those trans women who do not pursue transitioning. Why? Because of the cisnormativity, where people do not expect that someone could be trans, and this needs to be respected as well. As you could see from the quote that I put on the slide, trans women who still have facial hair, it might be very difficult, or who have not taken hormones or just put on a dress without any transition. They may have very different experience from the trans women who pass the stereotypical image of women. So second, when it comes to sex segregated facilities, when it comes to sex segregated facilities, such as bathrooms, toilets, changing rooms, and etc. Both trans and gender diverse customers may encounter awkward moments with the service staff on how to allocate to them to either male or female space. Sometimes our bodies can be policed by authorities or accused for impersonating to be another gender or faking. If we didn't pursue sex reassignment surgery or bottom surgery, and this could be a disaster when it comes to verifying our gender identification and charging us for criminal offense. Why? Because of the norm that assumes everyone to be endosex or endonormativity. So you need to have a female body, female ID to use women-only spaces. But in fact, not all women have those, fully consistent female characteristics across their documents. Third, in some transport companies, they have a very strict rule in putting either male or female passengers into the same row to prevent sexual harassment cases. It may not be very common in the Western countries, but in some countries, especially in Asia, in a very conservative places, they may put people into the same role according to the sex assigned at birth or the legal gender. And definitely for those countries that reject gender recognition for trans and gender diverse people, they may put into such a situation that creates a lot of misunderstanding among the customers and service providers. Fourth, following the previous scenario that trans and gender diverse people with our IDs that do not reflect our gender identity and expression, we are subjected to misgendering practices throughout your service process. Starting from check-in, where ID documentation is required by law, and how you process gender information of your guest that will inform how your staff will address or greet your guest properly. In the hospitality settings, we all know that we usually refer to guests based on the gender binary system, such as Miss, Mr., Sir, or Madam, right? So we need to all review how we could address our guests formally and politely while avoiding these gender salutations. And this could be, if this happened, right, this could embarrass your guest to their companion. For example, sometimes we travel with our colleagues, right? And then exposing our private gender information or outing our legal gender might create a lot of misunderstanding to others as well. Fifth, again, not only by legal genders, some hotels and restaurants are aware of the gender diversity, but still enforce the gender binary protocols to their guests. For example, some non-binary guests who appear to be a bit more masculine will be automatically treated as male customers. And by misgendering them as sir in that situation may be also very offensive as well. The thing, what you need to do is just to ask how should we refer to which pronoun that we are using, that they are using, all right? Six, some traditions expect men to take a breadwinner role while women more depend on men, like in some cultures. This may also apply to trans and gender diverse customers. For example, butch lesbians and trans men are expected to pay the bills and treat their partners. And at times, we do not only need to go through our internal struggle in terms of our gender, but also need to cope with gender patriarchy that puts our intimate relationship at risk. If you are handling the bill to someone at the table, instead of automatically assigning to or leaning the bill towards a more masculine looking person, how about giving it to the person who called for a bill or put it in the middle? Let us decide and don't create pressure to your guest. Seventh, some service facilities such as spas and saunas, hot springs and beauty parlors require guests to take off their clothes in order to perform the service, right? And expose their sex characteristics, either by intention or not intention, right? For non-endosex people, this could be a nightmare. We don't want to always put a disclaimer like, oh, I want to do a Brazilian hot wax, but please don't mind, I have a penis out there. or I want to do a massage for male, but please avoid my chest and bottom part because this is gonna be embarrassing moment for trans and gender diverse customers as well. In worst scenario, we are just not allowed to enter those facilities at all because they don't know how to treat us. And it's hard to explain to our travel companions why we excuse ourselves from those activities that might be a must-do thing in some destinations as well. Last but not least, the X scenario, we must acknowledge that at some point, toxic masculinity might create a misandry myth whereby cisgender men may be perceived as dangerous, as same as when trans women are perceived as fake women and dangerous men too. Some lesbian and non-binary customers with female sex characteristics also reported their experiences of discomfort, having a male staff serving them in a confined space. I'm not saying that the bias that men are dangerous is right. In fact, it is deeply rooted in a raping culture that may happen in many countries. But we need to be aware of such gender sensitivity that may happen to your guests as well. So if you can see from these scenarios, right, you will learn that actually gender sensitivity is not an issue for only trans and gender diverse customers, but also your issues, everyone's issues, that you need to live with such gender rules and expectations as well. At the end of the day, we are all affected. So there are several terms today that you need to digest, including cisnormativity, endonormativity, gender patriarchy, gender essentialism, and misandry, which are actually a very academic term, but I think this is a very useful and a useful tool for you to try to understand the underlying phenomenon and trying to understand the root causes of the incidence of discrimination and exclusion, especially for trans and gender diverse customers. So to conclude, some aggressions can be very subtle or invisible. Your attention to these sensitivities or to these details will be a plus for your service improvement. And try to avoid putting everyone together in one basket, LGBTIQ plus in one basket, and only splash a rainbow flag, because it is not that easy and it's not that simple, as we all have unique identities and experiences. To equip yourself or your staff with this knowledge, in my opinion, diversity training with this gender lens, intersectional gender lens, and gender sensitization workshop can be a good way to start with to improve your organization. And it's a lot to take in, but I hope this presentation will be useful for you to go back to review your service protocols and SOPs in both either frontline and back office as well, to make sure that your service premises are more inclusive to trans and gender diverse customers. Finally, thank you so much for your attention and support today. And I hope to answer your question later on in the breakout rooms. Thank you so much. Over to you, back to Gabriel.
Thank you, Bella, for that amazing presentation and for being such a viable contributor to our work. Y'all, you just had the privilege of learning from one of GTAG's amazing members. And I want to give you an opportunity to learn more about our group. That is who we are and what we do. So with this, I want to give our members a brief opportunity to introduce themselves. So Sonali, if we can go to the next slide. Let's go ahead and start with Nick. Nick, if you can introduce yourself, please.
Hi, hello everyone. My name is Nicola. My pronouns are he and him, and I work for IGLTA, and I'm the social media manager. And yeah.
And where are you located, Nick?
Currently in Valencia, Spain, but I'm Italian.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bella, reintroduce yourself, please.
Oh, sure. Hello, everyone again. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Bella. I'm actually originally from Thailand. I was born in Bangkok, but I moved to live and work in Hong Kong at the moment. So nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Bella. Alice.
Hi, my name's Alice. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Namibia originally and currently based in Cape Town, South Africa.
Thank you, Alice. Jess.
Hey everyone, Jess Osborne, they, them, and I'm in Miami, Florida.
Thank you, Jess. Marley.
Hi everyone, I'm Mali. My pronoun are they, them. I'm originally Italian, but I live in London.
Thank you, Marley. Sammy.
Hi, I'm Sammy. My pronouns are he and him. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, and I'm a fellowship recipient from 2023 from IGLTA. It's a pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you, Sammy. And Sonali.
Hello everyone, my name is Sonali Khan, pronouns are she and her, based in New Delhi, India.
Thank you, Sonali. You know, I'm so grateful to serve alongside each of these powerful change makers. I have the privilege of witnessing the impact that each of these activists make in their own region of the world every day. And if you are not connected to them, I encourage you to do so on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, all the other social media channels. Please do that.
We have
You know,
Rudrani also on call.
I'm sorry?
Rudrani also on call.
Oh, Rudrani, I'm sorry. Is Rudrani here?
Hi, Gabriel. Hi, everyone. My name is Rudrani.
Thank you,
Am I
Rudrani.
audible? Yeah. So, hi, my name is Rudrani. I'm from India. I'm so part of
Thank you, Rudrani. I didn't know that you were here. I'm so glad that you were joining us. You know, when we first strategized what we wanted to accomplish through GTAG, we filtered our soon-to-be developed mission and vision through the litmus test of what, who, what, when, where, why, and how we wanted to make a difference on behalf of the trans and gender diverse traveler community. Can you go to the next slide, please, Sonali? It was then we realized that we wanted our work to be representative and relevant to the full width, breadth, and depth of the gender diverse community. This was when we recognized that three criteria must exist if our work is to be inclusive, effective, and sustainable. These criteria became the pillars that would ultimately define our focus, our strategy, and our outcomes. These criteria are equitable global representation, value of intersectionality, and the need for sustainability. When it comes to equitable global representation, we knew that to meet the needs of the global TGD community, we needed equitable representation across many countries as our community is immersed in, so as to inform our work, to ensure its relevance and impact, regardless of the numerous cultural nuances and subsequent demands our community is faced with. Consequently, we're learning to navigate different time zones, language barriers, cultural differences, and so much more. And I am proud to say that our GTAG members currently span across 5 different continents, y'all. And I just have to say, I learn something new every time we have a conversation. The second pillar is value of intersectionality. Currently, GTAG consists of transgender women, transgender men, and non-binary folks. And even though we belong to a collective gender diverse community, our lived experiences are nuanced and complex. It's essential to have this multi-layered lens to filter our work through, so the complexities of these different identities allow us to meet the needs of the broader gender diverse community. With that being said, we're not where we want to be just yet. We are currently in the midst of a membership campaign where we are looking for two-spirit, intersex, and trans people of color. So if you have any contacts with any of these identities, please send them our way. You know, we want the people that we serve to look at our core group and see themselves in it, because we know you can't be it unless you see it. Our third and final pillar is the need for sustainability. We recognize that this work is bigger than any one of us, and we want to ensure that it's sustainable far beyond the current group. With this, we have developed 3 different subcommittees that will champion their initiatives and objectives: an outreach, a connection, and an implementation subcommittees. The next few slides that you will see from Sonali show some examples of the objectives that these subcommittees will champion. This gives you a brief overview of who we are and what we do. And to give you an idea of some of the objectives that we have championed thus far, I'd like to turn things back over to TJ, and he will share some examples of our work so far. TJ.
Thank you. This has been absolutely wonderful so far. I work in the LGBTQ plus movement every single day, and I still have more to learn, and I absolutely love this. So that's the power of GTAG. And as I mentioned, leadership, research, and education are our pillars, and this is the prime example of our leadership. And we are proud as the IGLTA and IGLTA Foundation to support projects that don't just talk about inclusion, but actively dismantle barriers. And programs like this, GTAG have affected things like our Emerging Destinations and Communities program. We define an emerging destination as one that does not have LGBTQ plus governmental protections or infrastructure, and providing resources for small businesses in those regions. And GTAG has been a huge influence on making sure there is gender visibility and gender opportunity across gender. We are very excited actually to be announcing a capacity building program and workshop for small businesses. And thanks to GTAG, we were awarded a grant that the granting funder only had a binary system, and we said we will not take this on unless we have a non-binary opportunity to ensure equitable opportunity for small businesses around the world. So GTAG is creating impact not only in our organization and in the community, but on impact around the world. It's also through these collaborations that we are taking concrete steps to transform internal practices, not only for us, but for our partners. We are able to advise on everything from gender inclusive signage, some of which Bella had mentioned, and hiring policies and training content for our partners, and generally providing accountability for these topics, both internally and externally. So GTAG has created incredible impact, and we are growing at an incredible rate. And I look forward to speaking a little bit more on how we can continue to grow this initiative.
Thank you, TJ. Sonali, can you go one more slide, please? And these are the items that TJ just referenced. One more slide, please. So now we're going to give each of you an opportunity to ask us some questions. We're going to put each of you in a breakout room, and each room will be co-hosted by a couple of members of our GTAG group. And basically what we're going to want you to walk away with from this breakout session is, what kind of questions do you have for us? What are things going on that are going on in your space that you live, move, and have your being in? And is there anything related to our work, GTAG's work, that we can be a resource to you, okay? So we're going to send each of you into a breakout session. The co-host will identify themselves when you get into your respective breakout rooms. We'll have, let's say, about 10 minutes or so to have a conversation. This is a safe space. Feel like you can bring any and all of your questions to this space, okay? So we're going to send you off, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
It's a very large group, so it may just take 1 minute. Thanks everybody for their patience. Sonali, have you Have you been able to issue the rooms?
Yes, has given me a timer of 30 seconds, so we will have to wait at least 30 seconds more.
Okay, sorry everyone.
Yes, I'm so sorry
Best laid
about it.
plans.
Are we going to try that again or? Okay, good.
Yes, I'm sorry. There is some technical glitch, but it is
No worries,
resolved.
Sonali. No worries.
Shout out to Sonali. I have done this many times. It is not an easy feat, so you're remaining very calm under pressure.
This is what happens when you try to corral the globe.
And as Isabel said, yes, Mercury retrograde doesn't help.
Denali's the best. You got this.
Thank you.
And you're right, Isabel. Mercury in retrograde.
Just some minutes more, almost done. We have huge number of people, so I have to add people one by one. So please bear with me for one more minute.
It's a good problem to have, too many people.
While we're waiting on Sonali to do this, does anybody want to come off mute and ask a question? This is a safe space, y'all. Okay?
I would also ask, is there a piece of knowledge that you learned from the presentation that you found fascinating or new that you could put into the chat box? Something that you really appreciated learning today? All right, I see some breakout rooms.
Okay, here we go. We're going to join. Here we go.
Finally, thank you, everyone.
You're doing great, Sonali. We appreciate it. So I don't know if you saw there's one person that needs assignment.
Yes, I'll assign it.
Good. Thank you for doing that.
Done. Please let us know if you're not able to join any room. I will help you.
Yeah. If anyone here is having issues jumping on or hasn't received the pop-up window that says join breakout room, please let us know. We'll reassign you. The time marked. Okay.
Okay, so I have assigned you to room number 2, maybe.
I'm just gonna stay on with you until everybody's taken care of.
Do we have Virginia?
I'm not heading up the room.
Oh, you
Right.
don't have to. It's okay.
Oh yeah, okay. That was just make sure
Yeah.
it's just G-tag. Okay.
Just 3 rooms,
Okay.
and I have not assigned us any room because someone need to be here.
Yeah. Everybody, I have a timer going for us too.
Yes. So there is one person here. I don't know if they are able to join the room.
Katya and Virginia, let us know if you're having issues.
I'll just go very quickly to rooms and I'll see if everything is all right in the rooms.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll stay here in case anybody comes back to the lobby.
Yes. Everything seems good.
Good, good, good.
Yeah, if you also want to join, you can also go and have a look very quickly. I'll be here. Can you see yourself? Like, are you able to join?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I'm
all
able to
the
join.
rooms, like all the rooms or just one room? What it does says.
Oh, any of the rooms. I'm a co-host, so I can get into any of them.
Oh, great.
Yeah. I'm actually just finalizing a few things I want to mention to the group, and so I'm gonna stick over here for a bit.
So Virginia and Katya is here. Oh, Katya gone. Now we just have Virginia with us.
Oh, maybe she joined, or they joined. But they didn't.
Is this Virginia from IGLTA?
I don't think so.
Oh, the call is
Maybe
getting
she's
recorded also.
Yeah. I think Virginia might she might be traveling, just listening.
Yes. No problem.
It's recording, but I want to give you a shout out. You're very good at this, and you've done a great job. Like, I know how much work goes into it.
No, I was like, my mind was at 4 different places. There's a text from WhatsApp, there's an email, there is a message. So a lot of things are happening. But yeah.
Yeah, you're doing great. Let me broadcast the 5 minutes. Okay. I used to. Oh. Hi, Stacy. Welcome. Not sure if you're just joining or if you're re-signing in, but we're doing breakout sessions now for Q&As, so we'll assign you to the room and bring you back in about 5 minutes. So you want to sign, or do you want me to do it?
Oh, done.
Look, you did it. Thank you.
Oh, I'm back. Seems like everyone is having good conversation. It is getting very serious. Everyone is talking. Everything is going good. You're on mute.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, it's very serious. Everyone, a lot of questions,
Oh,
which is
good.
good.
Oh,
Yes.
that's beautiful. I'm make sure Gabrielle's not messaging on. Okay, great. Is Meg still on?
Yes, I have assigned next on Zoom.
Oh,
I
okay.
will
Yeah,
need to check.
I
Yeah.
was looking for them and didn't see it. My timer says we are at 1 minute, so I'm gonna go ahead and broadcast that.
Mhm.
And then in a few seconds, in like 30 seconds, we can close the rooms. I think it takes like 30
Oh,
seconds.
yes. We are on time. Everything is going good.
Yeah, no, this is great.
Yes, we still have 50 participants with us. I thought people will leave after the breakout.
Yeah, people probably start signing off.
Yes. Good number of people showed up.
Yeah, no, it's
Up to 75 if I'm not wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna start closing out the rooms. Is that okay?
Yeah. I mean, whenever you close, there is a 1 minute timer automatically that will be visible for everyone anyway.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I used to do these all the time, but it's been a while.
Oh, I am like a Google Meet girl. So Zoom is like very new kinda. So
Yeah, well, it's it doesn't seem like it's new to you. You're doing great.
oh yeah, I guess I'm a Gen Z, really good with
Just
technologies. Yeah.
just pick up really quickly.
Yes. Meanwhile, I'll notice something for myself. Okay. Virginia.
Welcome back, everybody. We're all filing in.
Yes. I was finalizing my answer for the last question.
Yeah, sorry, I wanted to
We
just
were
ask if we could keep the contact detail and get back to her.
Yeah.
Oh, Gabrielle, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. I think what I would like for us to do, TJ, is we've got like 4 minutes left. Is that right?
Yes.
TJ, let's see here. Maybe we start with a call to action and maybe have one question and then we close things out. So TJ, do you want to help us with kind of how folks can get involved in GTAG, our work, and the other moving parts and pieces that the foundation is currently managing right now?
Yeah. Well, I think the one thing that we've seen today is that creating truly inclusive change in travel isn't about just changing signage or language for that matter, but it's about shifting power, representation, and culture. And my call to action first is that if you are in a travel industry leader, if you're in the travel industry, audit your experience through the gender diverse lens and ask yourself whose comfort is prioritized as you travel. And if you're in a leadership role, it's really important to seek out, fund, and elevate gender diverse voices and talent. And if you want to do that by helping GTAG, there are ways to get involved with us. Reach out if your experience, if your experience could help the GTAG community and help elevate voices. If you want to get involved by volunteering, please reach out to me or Gabrielle or Sonali. And if you're interested in getting more involved in IGLTA generally, we have fellowship opportunities to help get people to the IGLTA convention, as well as other IGLTA associated global events around the world. We will have, as I mentioned, business development opportunities with, all coming through the pipe. So I ask you to register for our newsletter and be on our social media. And if you have the access and opportunity, I will put in the chat donations. We can't do the work we do without donations and funding. If you have resources, please feel free to donate. And with that, I will hand it back to Gabrielle.
Thank you, TJ. So we have just a couple of minutes, and I want to be respectful of everyone's time. Does anyone have a question that you were not able to get to in your breakout session? I can't guarantee that we'll have a full answer for it, but at least we want to make sure you're seen and heard. Anyone? Duncan, you were in my breakout session, mine and Simi's breakout session. Your question was answered by Meg. I think we're going to, just so everyone understands the context of these breakout sessions, we're going to use this information, the questions that you brought to your individual breakout sessions. And this is going to be information that is going to kind of inform our next steps, some of our next steps as a GTAG group. So just so you know what we're doing with your comments and questions. Anybody before we close things out today? Well, I want to thank
I
you.
see a question in the chat.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry, I see a question in the chat that we might. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Go for it. You want to read the question?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll read the question. It's from Denise. She says, I'd love to see assistance with how to access respectful and authentic marketing materials, photos in particular, that I can use as a business owner for marketing. I've been using some resources that don't have great options, and I'm not sure what exists. I will be doing more research on finding this too. I can answer a little bit of that because I get that question a lot as well. I've been trying. There are a couple of websites maybe you'll go as well. You really have to dig in Google and really try to find some that are trans-led because often they'll be the most inclusive. And we happen to have a local person in the community that I know that is a trans and person of color marketing director, has his own business. So maybe finding folks like that in your area would be more helpful, and that way you can learn more how to have like what does non-binary. That's not an easy thing to, I think, answer. So keep doing the research and get support. Does anyone else have anything to?
Yeah, I can contribute to this. You can actually, Canva has a lot of really LGBTQ inclusive, including trans and non-binary inclusive imagery that's included in their free services. You just have to search based off of the keyword. So you can search, different keywords like identities, of course, but then also things like androgynous, LGBT, queer, all of those things. And you'll be able to find some great free resources there.
Thank you. And again, we will, as a GTAG group, take this information and you will get a takeaway from today's call with resources, and hopefully we can incorporate some of that information in the resources that you will be receiving. But we want to be respectful of everyone's time, and thank you for spending the last hour with us. Even though we may be living in challenging times right now, I want to invite us to flip the script on all that's happening around us, all the noise and distractions, and recognize that this is in fact the most exciting time to be alive because we have an opportunity to make history, y'all. But we all have to be willing to be a part of the solution for it to be a success. So we hope that after today's conversation, you will see the value and benefit in doing just that. Until we see you again at the next IGLTA event, wherever that is, please take care of yourself. And to all my trans and gender diverse folks, happy Transgender Day of Visibility. Good to see you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Transgender Day of Visibility.
Yes.
All right. Well, I think it's
just us.
It's just us and Leandros.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wonderful job.
Wonderful.
Thank you both. I mean, wow. Thank you all. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great time. Great time. Hey, Sonali, can you stop sharing so we can see people's faces?
Oh, yes.